Hey there, welcome to SFIGUREREVIEWS. If you're tuning in, thanks for watching. And you're clearly here because you want to look at the Marvel Legends Secret Wars Wave 2 Daredevil, inspired by its Mattel 1980s 3.75-inch counterpart. So here are the details. I paid about $48.50 for this guy. That includes shipping. To get this guy quick, and I got this in less than 2 days. It was awesome. This guy is highly in demand right now. The first single release Daredevil in 6 years. That's a long time. He's been tied to Hasbro Pulse exclusives and other exclusive sets. Let's have a look at the packaging. You're going to see me unbox this right here. And basically what it is, it's the Secret Wars card back, that blister retro card inspired by its 1980s counterpart line. And what it is, Marvel Legends series, Secret Wars, Daredevil. You can see the accessories on the front, that lenticular shield. I want them to get rid of it. Next thing you can see is on the side, there's nothing because it's a blister card. On the back, you have a simple bio. And that bio is actually inspired by the 1980s line, and I'll talk about it later. Here's the bio for you. Blind lawyer Matt Murdock uses radar sense and enhanced hearing as Daredevil to thwart Dr. Doom's plans to black out New York City. For the other figures in the line, we have Absorbing Man, who's technically just man. We have Alien Symbiote Spider-Man, which is basically a quarter of Symbiote Spider-Man. We have Magic in our New Mutants attire. We have Classic Falcon, the second iteration of Falcon's look. And we have Constrictor. So let's have a look at Matt Murdock Daredevil now. And honestly, I think this thing looks really good. The head sculpt, I love it. I love the wide eyes. How the red in the eyes compared to the actual look of the figure itself is different. Inspired by the 1980s toy. That's why we have these massive black accents. The double D, the lines across the legs, the boots, and the forearm cuffs have got these black lines. The head sculpt, I just can't get over it. I love the look of it. The body, it's interesting. It's all new parts. I was thinking maybe it's using like some Baron Strucker. It's not. It's brand new parts, which is amazing. So clearly the budget in this wave went to Daredevil. And also, let's talk about the belt, because something that's interesting is that the belt isn't removable. And also, what you're going to find out later is it's not going to hinder articulation. He does have a back port for his sonar effect, which I'll show you soon. And thankfully, it's actually not affecting any of the definition. He's got some really great back and front muscle definition. He's got wrinkles throughout the suit, so it actually looks like a man in a suit, because we've gotten a lot of bodies where they've used them as skin-toned figures and etc. So thankfully, this is actually a guy in a suit. Wish there was a little more paint, but it's basically this bright red with the black accents all across. And something that I kind of don't like, which some people are going to like, which is the Billy Club's pocket, how it's stuck onto the leg. I kind of wish it was a separate piece like previous Daredevil figures have had, just because I feel like it's going to unstick over time, the glue's going to get worse, and it's going to be really hard to stick back without it actually coming off again. So I'm not really a fan of that per se. However, overall, it's going to stand out on your shelf. It's going to look great with your other Marvel Legends figures. And if this is your first Daredevil, it's going to be good too. Okay, I want to quickly compare this Daredevil, just from images, to some previous counterparts. We have the Cell Shaded, which was in the 2-pack of Hydra Man. We have the biggest image of them all, the Renew Your Vows, the Trio Pack with White Elektra and Bullseye. We have Armored Daredevil, and we have, in the smallest image, the Hobgoblin Bucky Cap Daredevil. And all 4 of these, I think, will hold up anyway. Renew Your Vows had a problem, which was you could see the red details, but on the maroon body without the cell shading, looks rubbish. You can't see any of those details. That is something that, interestingly, the old Bucky Cap version does quite well, is that it mixes up this dark maroon with a really bright red that this Renew Vows fails to do. And then basically, to get it to work, cell shading. Now, cell shading and Renew Vows, any Daredevil figure nowadays goes for a lot of money. So this is going to be a great value for you to fit this in as your comic Daredevil. It is based on this 1980s Mattel Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars 3.75-inch line, where you can see Daredevil's just meh, looks kind of crap. But the bio that they paid homage to is inspired by these 4 comic panels, which was specifically designed for Daredevil fighting Doctor Doom. Just a little toy gimmick to get people reading and whatever. But yeah, and even this version of the Secret Wars Daredevil was used as a variant cover in comics as well. So let's just jump into accessories, because I don't know if it's a little underwhelming. I kind of think it is. But for what we get this crappy lenticular shield. I like the picture, don't get me wrong, the artist is good. Interestingly, this time around, we only get that sort of lenticular shield piece. We don't get the Secret Wars cardboard cutout to switch in that place. And I don't like these C-clips, alright? Half of them work, half of them have snapped on me. It doesn't even fit around his wrist, around Daredevil's wrist, because it's such a thin sculpt. But no one's really going to use this. Let me just make that clear. I would have rather even sets of hands than this. Okay, but they're going with the gimmick. It's like the mini comics thing, right? That open hand, that open gnarled hand, and that fist, they're both on horizontal hinges. But we also get this sonar effect. It's very secure in the back because there is a hole in the back of Daredevil. And it can move side to side, it can move all around. But it's got a secure grip in that hole. Now, we also have these billy clubs, which are a reuse sculpt. But what I really like about this, and it's more about the billy clubs, even though they're really nicely painted, is this sort of filler piece, this clip, this joint where you can plug both ends in and create sort of a staff, right? I think that's a really fun piece. I don't know why, but I just think it's really good. Or articulation. He is on a neck peg. Unlike the Renew Your Vows, which was on a dumbbell, they've gone back to the neck peg, so there's not going to be any side-to-side tilt. It's going to be sort of twist full 360 and looks up really well and pretty decently down. He has a T-pose above a T-pose in terms of his arm goes full 360. Arms go forward really well. They are double jointed. He has a bicep cut, the pinless double joints, and again, the hands are on either vertical or horizontal hinges. Fist and gnarl hand, horizontal. Baton, billy clubs holding hands, vertical. He has really good butterfly joints. They go far pretty well. Now, I really like this inverted ab and diaphragm articulation. As you can see here, it's really good. It goes decent way forward, really far back. Diaphragm does a full 360, double jointed pinless legs. Daredevil can almost do the splits, but here's where we're going to kind of see a bit of a problem. He does have a boot cut, which is great, thank goodness. Hasbro's clearly remembered this time in 2026, whereas the theme of 2025 was no boot cuts for some reason. The problem now is his foot. Now, he doesn't have enough clearance in the front, so when he tries to go forward, when you try to push his foot forward, well, he hasn't got enough plastic cut out in the front, whereas in the back, and even ankle pivot, it's really good. He can stretch his foot a long way back, and he's got really decent ankle pivot, but again, forward-wise, not particularly great, and he's actually a bit of a struggle if you try to have him really far forward. He can easily topple. So that's the biggest downside to this Daredevil. So keep that in mind if you're a person who likes vanilla posing. If you're a dynamic poser and you plan on putting this guy on a stand, don't worry about what I just said. For size comparisons, Daredevil is standing just under 6.5 inches, I think about 6.4 from what I measured. So here we have him with some Daredevil foes. We have from the -1 Build-A-Figure wave on the Shriek body, Lady Bullseye on the right. Next to Daredevil, we have the Owl from the Spider-Man 2026 Blister Card wave. That review is on my channel, go check it out. And we have in the back the Kingpin, Daredevil's arch foe from that Spider-Man blister card line in his classic colors. Next up, just for a dumb love interest, and for someone I recently reviewed, here we have on the right Cardiac from that Spider-Man 2026 blister card wave, and She-Hulk from the Super Skrull Dan Slott Fantastic Four wave. Something I didn't mention accessories that would have been nice would have been an unmasked Matt Murdock head sculpt. But I remembered I have the Spider-Man No Way Home Matt Murdock that I've used as a custom Nick Fury. So, how's that look? Awful. Just awful. The head sits too high and Daredevil's head is so wobbly on that suitor body. No, don't do it. Don't do it. For some Secret Wars Wave 1 figures that I have, in the back we have Titania, and in the front We have Secret Wars Cap with the Ultimate Cap shield. And we have Beyonder, even though Beyonder's physical form didn't show up till Secret Wars 2 in the comics. And I decided just for fun to pull out the lenticular shields that I have in some pencil case somewhere. Here we have Daredevil's lenticular shield, Captain America's lenticular shield, Beyonder and Titania's lenticular shields. For some random looks of characters, I guess. For two of Marvel's best-selling characters, I have from the Ursa Major wave, Stealth Suit Iron Man, and I have possibly the greatest Marvel Legends Captain America of all, the Capcom Gameverse 2-pack version. I still love the Secret Wars one, he needs the scales. But, does this Stealth Suit Iron Man look a bit strange to you? I mean, he's warped. I just pulled him out because I haven't had him out for a while. But he looks weird. How he's standing and how it's a bit sort of bent and warped, it kind of looks like the Mattel Secret Wars figures that had the pre-posed legs. What a coincidence. Alright, next up, just for a few random ones, I have here Man-Thing from the Marvel Studios, Marvel Special Presentation, Wealth by Night. This is the retooled Build-A-Figure. And for a standard Marvel Legends comparison, I have the Vulcan body, but it's the legendary Star-Lord in his classic attire. Hang on, wait, hold on. What are these guys doing here? Daredevil, do you sense that? Can you sense that here? Oh my goodness, it's Scourge the Executioner and Abomination. Wow, I don't know what they're doing here. They're not even tied to this bloke. Next up, because I don't have these guys yet, and I want to wait for them to go on sale, here we have the Absorbing Man and Constrictor. These are the only ones I actually want to get from this line, and I'll hopefully eventually get them and review them on this channel. For an MCU comparison, I have Moon Knight from, I think, the Infinity Ultron wave, and I have Yelena Belova. This is the Thunderbolts 2-pack version with the Black Widow film movie Crimson Dynamo wave head on there, because I don't want Florence Pugh in my collection. Street level heroes time. Here we have Luke Cage. We have Iron Fist, who is on the Renewed Val's body, and you can kind of see straight away he is taller than this Daredevil, not by much, half a centimeter at most. And we have my only but definitive Punisher. This is the Motorbike War of the Realms Punisher Kill Crew Punisher Frank Castle. If you read the modern comics, maybe take a look at this, and I'll give you a few seconds to guess what this is. This is the latest Avengers lineup post-Armageddon. We have here, for another MCU comparison, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. We have Luke Cage still here. We have the Maximum Series Spider-Man. We have the CT Toys Brown Suit Wolverine Marfex bootleg. And yeah, they look great together. And this also gives off New Avengers, Brian Michael Bendis, or post-Civil War New Avengers team-up, right? I can definitely see that. But you can even see as well, Maximum Spidey is taller than Daredevil. I thought it was meant to be the other way around. And this is the thing about this new body that's not exactly great, is that he is a little short. And it is pretty noticeable with characters who should be predominantly shorter than this guy. Since I kind of got New Avengers stuck in my head, which is one of my favorite comic reads of all time, both the Heroic Age version and the post-Civil War version, here we have the Dan Slott Fantastic Four-Wave Thing and the X-Men 97 Wolverine, and these look really good together. And having these characters all together as well, and I love how these particular characters work, whether it was in animation Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers, or in the books post-Civil War and Heroic Age New Avengers. Oh my god, I just love how even these figures look, even though they're not all accurate to specific times. They look awesome together, all posed up. I'm not doing these figures justice with how I've posed them, but for what it is, wow. Wow. For a miscellaneous comparison, here we have on the right, the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Platinum Question. We have the Scooby-Doo Where Are You, Jada Toys Creeper. We also have M. Bison from Street Fighter 2, Jada Toys. For Mattel, we have Merman, since we are on the high of Masters of the Universe, in his Revelations attire. We have Blocky's Elmo, and we have Greg the Carbonized Stormtrooper from Star Wars Black Series Hasbro. Okay, so I wanted to test this out, and I wanted to see whether a Bucky Cap body would still be able to hold up to this new sculpt. And in particular, this Daredevil. This is one I didn't show in the images prior, and it's the back in black Marvel Now Daredevil. Some people confuse this for Shadowland. Nope, back in black. This is from 2018, the SPDR wave. And I love this thing. This has been my Daredevil since 2020. I got it as a Christmas present, and I absolutely love this thing for so long. I'm one who loves the inverted colors on Daredevil. So, height-wise with these two, the Bucky Cap's slightly taller. That's what I find pretty interesting about this new Daredevil body, is that it's actually shorter than his predecessor bodies, the Renew Vows and the Bucky Cap. I don't know why they did that. Maybe it's to fit in with MCU figures, but wouldn't you think that they'd upscale MCU figures instead? Because their comic figures sell better than the MCU stuff? The belts on these guys are different. The arms are obviously different because, well, Daredevil Red is brand new and Daredevil Black is old, but had the wraps. This was interesting. They didn't use these wrap arms on any other Bucky Cap figure. And this Bucky Cap figure as well also had his own unique boots. For accessories, this, I think, was the first Daredevil to come with this plastic wire effect. Now, it's not wire, but it's this plastic that's kind of got these little rigid lines through it to kind of look like rope. And these were red billy clubs. And I don't know if they were the same sculpt. I think they're different sculpted billy clubs as well. And they just plugged onto each end of this fake rope. On top of that, he came with two sets of hands. Both, I think, are on horizontal hinges, grabbing and fists. And they have the wrap details, which are really nice. Now, I'm not going to explain the articulation of the Bucky Cap body. And really, you can look for yourself as this is being fast-forwarded. But I want you to pay attention to the boots, because that figure has better foot articulation, even as a pin figure, better foot articulation than this new Daredevil. There's just greater clearance in terms of being able to stand. You know, it takes a little bit of time to try and get this pinless figure to stand because it doesn't have enough plastic cut out for the clearance of the joint to move forward. The back in black Daredevil, it is not superior in any way in terms of articulation. Far from it. Look, same thing. It's outdated. It looks still great. It holds up. It's probably still my favorite of the two. But in terms of articulation, no way. Secret Wars wins, except for this one point, which is the feet. And I mentioned for accessories with the billy clubs, there was this filler piece, this clip, is compatible with the back in black Daredevil billy clubs. Also, the sonar effect. Well, because the Bucky Cap body had a hole in its back, it plugs into Daredevil's back, but it's a little loose, but it is compatible with other Daredevils, such as these Bucky Cap bodies. So that's my final comparison. But which of these Daredevils is better? And that was kind of the point I was trying to show you, which is, well, you're lucky to have a Daredevil because they go for a lot of money on the aftermarket, secondary market, secondhand, etc. And I definitely think Secret Wars is better, but it's just the foot thing that's the problem that gives this back in black version a bit of an upper edge. You know, the billy clubs are interchangeable, that's cool. The sonar effects is interchangeable, that's cool. And I think that they're both winners. Or if you have an older Bucky Cap bodied Daredevil and you don't mind, and you don't really want to trade it in for this, then don't feel ashamed. It's your collection, it's your choice. However, if you don't have a red Daredevil, this is easily the way to go with this Marvel Legends Secret Wars version. And even these two together, I love. Just the different body types and overall look and the inverted colors. It seems like a before and after, you know? And this Secret Wars Daredevil is definitely going to be my definitive Daredevil from now on. However, I still love that back in black version. It probably is still my favorite of the two. So what are my final thoughts on the Marvel Legends Secret Wars Wave 2 Daredevil? I had so much fun taking photo of this guy. I had so much fun posing around with some new Avengers. And these photos don't do this guy justice. I'm just not great at posing. But I loved this. I love this guy. I think he's awesome. Sure, he's a bit smaller, but I think that's a bit unique to have that little detail. And if you don't care about height, you know, if you just want a figure that articulates really well and is also going to stand out on a shelf really well, this is the way to go. Of course, there are flaws, such as the odd set of hands. I mean, maybe a Matt Murdock head sculpt would have been really nice. The feet are a problem I have. But, you know, overall, I think this guy would be a 9 out of 10 for my personal take. I think it's a 9 out of 10. It's possibly #1 figure of the year. It's easily top 10 best Marvel Legends of 2026. And I'm super pleased with it. I'm glad it's not tied to some Build-A-Figure wave. Because Build-A-Figure waves nowadays, they're not exciting and they're just pushing out characters for the sake of it. And, you know, I think as well that the detail and the head sculpt's amazing with this guy. I think that the accessories are okay. And even these black accents, I don't mind them. Sure, they're inspired by that 80s 3.75-inch toy. But if you did not know about the Mattel Secret Wars superhero line, right? If you didn't know about that, would you actually not buy this? I guarantee either way you would still buy this. Alright, it is the best Daredevil to date, right? It rivals Marfex easily. And that thing goes for a lot of money. And for a standard price, 43 Australian dollars, 28 USD, right? This is a bargain. Okay, I don't care about the retool Billy clubs. I'm happy with them. I don't like the odd set of hands, but I'm okay with that. At least it's not in a 2-pack or a 3-pack, some sort of Pulse exclusive. And also I want to say, suck it, Scalpers. Because this thing, sure, you might still make some money off it by buying a whole bunch of them. But this is the type of figure that's going to get a few re-releases, I guarantee it. I do also think lenticular shields, get rid of them. I know it's the gimmick, just get rid of them. Alright, you're counting them as accessories. They're as stupid as the mini comics. But yeah, this is my review on the Marvel Legends Daredevil. This has been SFIGUREREVIEWS. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content and you want a second opinion who's a bit hidden, thanks to your YouTube algorithm and thanks to everyone else flooding the market, please subscribe, please like this video, please share it, and it would really help out the channel. If you're interested in other Marvel Legends figures, I'm a small channel, I just started this year, but I do have a good selection of action figure reviews right now, such as Cardiac and Abomination, etc. So please check them out on the Marvel Legends playlist at SFIGUREREVIEWS. I have some other stuff there too. So if you're interested, please go check them out and support the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. My final rating, Daredevil, 9 out of 10. Possibly a 9.5, depends on... I've only had it for a few days upon recording this, right? So I'm really hoping to like it a bit more and forget some of those problems. But right now, my final score is a 9 out of 10. Secret Wars Daredevil, totally worth the money. Thanks for watching. SFIGUREREVIEWS signing out.